the starting lineup for you. Number 30, Rogers. In the nets for the Old A's this afternoon. Starting at defense, number 20, Tom Bernhardt. 65-pound junior. On defense, 6'3", number 95-pound senior Tom Bernhardt. Along with Rick Center, number 750-pound senior. The starting front line will be Jason Walters. Walters at center, followed by number 55-pound senior. Captain of the A's, 175-pound senior. Tim Harvey, 6'4", 165-pound senior.
And now, introducing the starting lineup for the Wildcats. In goal, number 24, Brian Hansen. Starting at defense, number 13, Matt Dufay. At the other defense, number 15, Ron Dufay. Starting at center, number 21, Howard Putt. At wing, number 11, Dan Mike. And at the other wing, number 14, Cody Lake. And the rest of the Wildcats. Coach line, Scott Dickmeyer. This is our last flag to get the ball. And now, ladies and gentlemen.
Certainly is a great tradition here at River Falls at this arena. A lot of great hockey games have been played here throughout the years, and let's hope we've got a good one this afternoon. Boy, I tell you, with your schedule, Mike, you're either on the road or in front of a microphone. It's going to be tough on you.
If I call traveling on somebody, let me know.
I will.
Here we go. Jason Walters, the senior, centering this first line. Again, the A's from right to left on your JJK dial, and the Wildcats from left to right. Howard Cotton wins the draw, draws it back to Dusek, and I guess I better call them by their first names. Matt Dusek with a shot on goal from center ice. Rogers steers into the far corner. Cotton pokes at it, but Harvey got there first. Rich steers it up along the boards for Tim Harvey, and he busts out for Memorial. Up the right wing boards in the neutral zone, Tim Harvey. A pass to left wing is picked off again by Matt Dusek. Slides it out to center, and right there is Tom Bernhardt, the senior co-captain for the Old A's, shoots it in. It skids to the right of goal into the far corner. Hustling after it is Tim Harvey. He's got an open point. Draws it back to Tom Bernhardt in the middle. Bernhardt eludes one check, takes a shot to hit traffic, reloads and slides one by the net, goes all the way behind the cage, comes out the near side. Bernhardt into the slot. A backhander. It's in! Tom Bernhardt with a backhander and gets the Old A's an early lead with his second goal of the week. He got a power play goal, you recall, against Menominee. I believe this one will be unassisted, and it comes at 41 seconds of the first period. I believe it'll be unassisted. Unassisted, as Bernhardt, it was pretty much a solo effort all the way. Took about 3 shots and finally got it by goaltender Brian Hansen. At 41 seconds of the first period. Here's Mitch Gerathanis with a drive, and Rogers had to be alert for that one to get the stick on it. Into the far corner, Madsen goes with Brent Hilmanowski. It comes loose behind the net. Centering attempt by Gerathanis. Hilmanowski, a backhander, and Rogers made the stop on that. Boy, we saw one backhander in the net, and now another backhander that had a lot of steam on it from Hilmanowski.
Well, Bernhardt's goal, just like Mark Fraley said, you got to shoot and make the goalie move. And that time the River Falls goalie went down on his knees, but the puck just went right in between his legs.
Started to do a V drop, but he was a little late with it. It comes into the near corner of the A's zone to our right. Oh, Mark Rickleft's after it, dumps it behind the net for Jeff Cockney. It's loose behind the cage and comes to the side of the net where Rogers pounces on it again and waits for the whistle. 13:45 to go in the first period. 1-0 Memorial with the early lead.
There's nothing like an early goal that can really wake up a team, and I think that's what happened here to River Falls. That early goal, they're going to come out and now apply some pressure on Memorial and try and get back even here in the early going of the first period.
Rogers has not played in about 2 weeks. Sullivan had been playing well. The A's started to bust out. A steal and a shot just wide by Scott Hemingway, a sophomore. Along the near boards is Jacob. He takes a shot, and Rogers made the glove save on that one. So Rogers with about 5 saves in the last minute.
Well, if he hasn't played for a while, he sure is getting initiated right away here this afternoon. Another glove save there by Rogers.
And I'm sure that's the way he'd prefer it. Knowing Rogers, or any goalie for that matter, so long as they don't get by you, you'd like to see as many as you can in the early going. Behind the net is Randy Campbell. Campbell, a long feed off the boards. He's just tipped at center ice by Steve Christensen. The sophomore sends it big wide. Thiesing with a steal is knocked off stride at the blue line, goes after it into the corner. Thiesing, a dump feed, but it's picked off on left wing by Chris By. The senior skates it out to center. Right wing feed to Hemingway. They split out, Hemingway and By. Hemingway into the near corner, looking for By in front. It's kicked out of there by Campbell. By goes into the far corner. Centering attempt for By. By put it just wide, and it comes to the near corner for Caesar Thiesing of Memorial. Thiesing to the far side, picked off by By again, and a centering attempt is broken up by Jeff Kotke. Kotke puts it off the boards to center, and it's taken there by Christensen of River Falls. Back for Sechrist. Sechrist tried to hit Gerathanis, or By rather, and it's picked off by Randy Campbell. Campbell put it behind Kotke, goes back for it at his own blue line. Kotke off the boards to Graham, and he lags it in, takes a check from Sean Dusek, but did his job, got it into the attack zone. Damon Zacco jousting in the corner for it. It flips up off the plexiglass. Harvey has nobody in front, so he buys some time, ducks behind the net, centering attempt. Dusek just got it out of there in time. Out on right wing to Dan Bikes. Bikes unable to clear the zone. Harvey goes behind the net. Sechrist for River Falls with Zacco. Sechrist got it into the far corner. Harvey after it there. Back for Sean Dusek in the near corner. Abe's forechecking aggressively, keeping the Wildcats bottled up. Sean Dusek slides it up along the boards again, but hustling in is Rich. Rich, however, overskated it, and the Wildcats bust out to center. But Tom Bernhard takes charge there for Memorial. Abe's leading 1-0, and again dump it in. Sean Dusek behind his own net, forechecking is Zacco, up for Bikes along the near boards. Walters ties him up. Walters sends it into the corner. Crisscrosses with Harvey. Harvey trying to center it, but that's broken up. Out to the point. Bernhardt's shot tipped wide by Walters. Up along the far boards is Cody Link, the freshman, trying to skate out of the zone and dumps it to center. They wave off icing as Bernhardt retreats for it.
And the Old A's have really bottled up River Falls in the attack zone here so far this afternoon.
They shoot it in again in the end to our left. Dusek, who's been out there a long time, the senior, gets it on right wing, but it's picked off momentarily. Loose at the side of the cage. Dusek comes right out in front of the net. Left wing feed is broken up by Ricklefs. Ricklefs out at center, backhands it. It's picked up, however, by Brent Hilmanowski. Hilmanowski weaves his way into the zone. A drop pass for Karin By. A shot. Rogers a kick out. By goes after it on the near side. A shot from the right point. Rogers had some trouble with that change up, and it's cleared the length of the ice. I think we'll get an icing call, although Hansen goes out to play it, but then backs off. We'll get an icing call. We'll take a break. 1-0 Memorial. Back at the Hunt Arena after this. Just a 30. The Blue Gold stuff, what's that? Oh, good, okay, yeah, we'll talk between periods. The face-off will come to the right of junior goaltender Mark Rogers. Karin By off the face-off. Gets it back to left point and gets a return feed. It flips up over the plexiglass on the far side. And we'll do the face-off again in the Old A's end. Karin By is also known as KL By, and she is a sophomore. And I think most people by now have heard of her, but quite a story, of course. The first forward female that I can remember. Forward female, that doesn't sound right, does it? Female forward. And she was a good one. Off the draw, a quick shot goes just wide by Chris By, her older brother. It comes to the near boards, out to right point. Sechrist nudges it into the slot, but it's skated out of there by Tom Bernhard. Bernhard up the far side at center. A left wing feed hit Olsen in the boot. Chris By picks it off. Left wing feed to Hans Jacob. Jacob, a lead feed was just a bit too far for Scott Hemingway, who was offside anyway. And the face-off will come outside the Memorial blue line.
Rob Graham doing a good job of getting back on defense that time, even though the offside was called.
Graham, Olsen, and Thiesing. Their line was benched briefly Thursday night. Well, actually more than briefly. They're back out there now. Sechrist off the draw for River Falls. Moving over the blue line. We got a delayed penalty. That was called before the offside. Yes, we've got a delayed penalty coming up. A slashing call. The slashing call comes at 4:34 and goes against Caesar Thiesing. So River Falls will go on the power play for the first time. 4:34 the time of the slashing penalty on senior Caesar Thiesing. The Old A's penalty killing is at 71% on the year. That's not as good a figure as I know Mark Fraley would like. Off the draw, though, Kotke hammers it out of his own. It skids the length of the ice. Hansen out of the goal to steer it to Gerathanis. Gerathanis stops and comes out the far side in front of his own net, spins back behind, and Gerathanis will reload and exit stage right. Gerathanis takes a check from Sigurdsson that gets the pass up the near side to Jeff Prochnow. The junior gets it into the attack zone, but Hansen takes it away from him. It's backhanded out to the blue line, out to the point, held in just barely by Prochnow, now gotten out to center by Sigurdsson. Gerathanis at center. A feed at center ice intended for Potton, taken on left wing by Hilmanowski. Hilmanowski the drive, and it goes wide. Comes out to Prochnow along the near boards. Back to the point to Gerathanis for Prochnow. Intended on the far side now for Prochnow. The drive from there, or rather Hemingway, hits traffic. The rebound, shot wide by Potton, comes to the near boards. Prochnow after it again. Back to right point to Gerathanis. Gerathanis for Prochnow. His pass intercepted by Sigurdsson and shot out to center with 1:02 to go in the River Falls power play. Potton at center ice. Poke checked aside by Sigurdsson and shot out to center. And down into the Wildcats' end. Prochnow retreats for it for River Falls with 50 seconds left in the power play. Almost a steal by Harvey. Goes into the far corner for it. Sends it back behind the net. Sean Dusek starts out the near side. Has it poke checked aside by Walters. Dusek trying to get away from Walters. Can't do it. Walters massaging him into the boards. And finally Dusek clears it up the far side, and the Wildcats bust out. At center ice is K.L. By, and she shoots it in the end to our right. Rich goes back for the A's with 25 seconds left in the penalty time. In the near corner with it is Hans Jacob, and he centered it right through the crease. Rogers couldn't control it. Jacob on the near side fanned on a shot. Goes back behind the cage for it. By trying to make something happen in the near corner. Chris By jousting with Bernhardt with 10 seconds left in the penalty. Comes up along the boards and out to center, and the A's have killed off the first penalty of the afternoon and still lead 1-0 with 8:27 to go in the first period. The A's back at full strength right now, and Harvey still forechecking aggressively. Sean Dusek trying to skate it out of his own end, gets the right wing feed to Seacrest. Seacrest, a rink-wide pass is picked off, but then re-intercepted by Jacob. Rich got a piece of it, and it's taken by Madsen and shot out to center. Ricklef slides it ahead for Tim Thiesing. Thiesing a drop pass. Here's Craig Madsen, the drive, and it's just wide to the left. To the near corner, Madsen. Behind the net it goes to Thiesing. Ricklef's behind the net, tries to center. That's knocked away. Tim Thiesing in the near corner. Thiesing slides it back towards the point. Kopke tees it up, drives one just wide. We have a delayed penalty coming up on the Wildcats, and now it'll be power play hockey for Memorial right after this.
Came out of the bench, he played the puck. They should have headed off. They had too many men. Oh, Claire had too many men, yeah, sure. Kid came off the bench and played the puck.
Hello. Hello, 30 here. High sticking the call on Eric.
A minor penalty on the River Falls goalie, Brian Hansen, for high sticking. The penalty will be served by number 2, Eric Seacrest. Hansen for high sticking, served by Seacrest.
Okay, Hansen. Penalties on Hansen, their goalie. Okay. The penalty was called on Brian Hansen, the River Falls goaltender, and we got another penalty coming up. And I'm not sure which way this one will go. We had a waltz going on behind the net. And we'll see. Jason Walters is skating over to the penalty box, and he will go for interference. Walters tying up one of the Wildcat defensemen, so there goes the Old Abe power play. It comes at 7:14. 4 seconds after the other one had started. The penalty called on Hansen was high sticking being served by Seacrest. This one is interference on Jason Walters at 7:14 of the first period. 1-0 Memorial. And now we'll skate 4-on-4 for a minute 56. Jeff Kopke back behind his own net to our right. Gets away from a check and totes it up ice. Kopke a left wing feed to Caesar Thiesing in the neutral zone. Thiesing carries it in, moves around a check. Thiesing a backhander's loose at the side of the net. And with it is Graham. Graham draws it back to Campbell. A drive and a save by Hansen. Oh, Campbell got all of that one and kept it low, but Hansen was able to see it and make the stop.
A nice save by Brian Hansen on a rock at that time, and he really came up with a big save there on a rocket of a shot.
The face-off will come to his left with a minute 35 left in Seacrest's time in the sin bin and a minute 39 for Jason Walters. We're at the halfway point of the first period. Back to right point. Campbell moves over to take it. Golfs one that's blocked up at the point and goes up into the stands on the far side. Not a big crowd on hand, even for a Saturday afternoon. We've got a few hundred. Good contingent of fans, though, from Eau Claire. Caesar Thiesing will try for the draw. A against Hemingway, and the Wildcats clear the zone to center. Jeff Kotke in the neutral zone. Lead feed for Graham is broken up, delayed offside, but it's carried out of there by Hemingway. Hemingway with by. Hemingway trying to move around a check, centers it. It's blocked nicely and taken away by Kotke. Picked his pocket, and here comes Thiesing. Long lead feed out to center is broken up by and taken by Dusek. Sean Dusek ducks around a check by Graham, carries it over the blue line, gets bumped off the puck, and the A's clear the zone. Thiesing shoots it in the end to our left, and we'll get an icing call. Caesar wasn't quite across the blue line, and the faceoff will come back down to the A's end. Memorial leading 1-0 with 6:48 to go in the first period. Faceoff will come back down to the A's end. Tim Thiesing's line comes out. This line has been slowly improving their numbers, both in terms of goals scored. They've got 10 and plus-minus numbers. Craig Manson now at +3, and off the draw, Manson tries to carry it out and does get it out. Tim Thiesing has nobody with him as he flies up the near boards. Tim Thiesing trying to go around. Christensen slides it right through the crease. Off the far boards, Rich backhands one that's blocked into the far corner and taken there by K.L. Bai. Karin gets it up along the near boards. It comes off the boards at a funny angle. She gets it back again. Bernhardt trying to muscle his way in. It comes to center. Goes back to the blue line. Tim Thiesing lost it. And here goes Hans Jacob with a shot from the blue line. It's blocked by Manson, whose stick went flying, but he did his job. Rich slides it to Bernhardt on the near side. Bernhardt carries it out. Remember, it's still 4-on-4. A lot of open ice, and that's what this big guy likes. Bernhardt over the blue line. Bernhardt moves to the near side. A centering attempt. Thiesing shoots one. Stick saved by Hansen. Bernhardt on the far side. A pass to Thiesing. A backhander trickles wide and comes to the near side. Skated out of there by Potton. Gets it out to the blue line. Held in, though, by Rich. The Wildcats are back at full strength, and the A's will be momentarily here. And as they are, a steal by Zacco. Eamon Zacco goes after along the near boards, throws a stiff check. Rich trying to hold it in. It comes out to center. Rich moves around a check. With 5:35 to go in the period, he shoots it in again. Christensen back for the Wildcats with Zacco on his back. Walters a steal. Has Harvey. Gets it to him. Harvey trying to set up for the pass in front. Walters a centering attempt. That's blocked back for Harvey. Harvey looking for Zacco in front of the net, and it's knocked out of there by Potton. Good defensive job. Loose in front of the net again. Zacco to Walters. Walters lost it off the end of the stick. Gets it back again. Walters off the far boards. Has it taken away by Christensen. Harvey got a piece of it, but the Wildcats clear it to the near board. Still not out of the zone. And finally now cleared to center, and Jeff Kotke has it for the A's. Crosses to Campbell on the far side. Campbell in the neutral zone, dumps it in. Christensen retreats for it. The sophomore for the Wildcats with 4:55 to go in the first period. 1-0 Memorial leads it. Here's Sean Dusek up ahead on the right side for Bikes. Poke checked aside, taken by Graham. Graham tries to center it for Olsen. It's knocked away by a diving Dan Bikes and carried out of there by the Wildcats. Cody Link, the freshman, got it to center. Bikes goes back for it, draws it back for Dusek. Dusek backhands it into the A's end. They wave off icing as Jeff Kotke corrals it there. Lead feed for Thiesing. He missed it, and it's taken by Prochnow. Prochnow backhands it back out to center for Bai. Karin Bai with a rink-wide pass that's broken up, taken back by Girothinus. Shot to the A's blue line. Campbell takes it there for Kotke. Lead feed to the middle to Graham on right wing for Olsen. Back for Graham. Graham, a wraparound pass for Thiesing is just broken up and carried out of there by Bai. She backhands it out to center, taken there by Campbell. Campbell at his own blue line. A long rink-wide pass intended for Olsen, a bit too far. But taken, though, by Graham and Olsen. Olsen, a rink-wide pass. We've got a penalty, an interference call coming up, I believe, on Girothinus. A shot in front is knocked out of there, and we'll get the interference call coming up on the Wildcats for interfering with Caesar Thiesing, and Memorial will go back on the power play when we return after this word.
A minor penalty on Liverpool. 2 minutes for interference.
30. I know I'm not letting you in much, but there aren't any whistles.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Memorial on the power play, but the Wildcats with the puck. Chris Bai drops it back for Prochnow, who shoots it in. And back for it is Bernhardt. Crosses to Campbell on the far side. Bernhardt, who has the only goal of the game, ahead for Jason Walters. Walters moves to the middle in the attack zone. A drop feed for Harvey. Harvey checked from the side, draws it back to right point, and it's tipped back to center alertly by Chris Bai. Back down to the Memorial end. 3:19 to go in the first period. 1:25 left in the power play. Bernhardt, a long lead feed is a beauty to Harvey. Harvey has Zacco breaking for the net. Centering attempt. Walters shot it way wide into the far corner. After it there is Hans Jacob. The lead feed out to KL By just slides out to center. And Campbell has to hustle back for it for Memorial with By forechecking. Campbell turns, ducks all the way behind his own net and gets it to Bernhardt in the near corner. Bernhardt, a centering pass to Walters, is picked off by Jacob and hammered right back in again. Abe's unable to get organized on this power play. Their percentage on the year up around 38%, and they're just not making it happen here. Randy Campbell carries it length of the ice and shoots one that's blocked. Carried into the near corner by Tim Harvey. He's stapled to the boards, and after it is Jacob who puts it out in front of his own net, but out to center, and back for it goes Cockney with just 36 seconds left in the man advantage. Harvey in the neutral zone dumps it in. It bounces into the corner. Walters hustles after it with Christensen. Christensen lost his stick. Walters falls, gets it out to the point to Kottke. The drive is up high over the top of the net. It bounces to the near side. On the rebound, Madsen going after it with Ricklefs. Ricklefs falls, tries to dump it back in the corner and does to Madsen. Now the Abes trying to set it up. Madsen for Tim Thiesing, and it went by him and all the way out to center. With just 10 seconds left in the power play, Tom Bernhardt will carry it on. The Wildcats changing on the fly over the blue line. Bernhardt gets it to the near side to Ricklefs, dumps it off the boards, and it's shot the length of the ice. And that'll do it for the Abes power play. River Falls back at full strength.
Well, the old Abes had peppered the goalie before the penalty, but then on the power play couldn't get anything going.
Play in the Abes end along the near boards. And the Abes able to clear. Tim Thiesing carries it out to center with just 1:37 to go in the first period. Madsen with a backhander that's stopped nicely by Dusek with his leg, and he carries it out to center. Sean Dusek over the blue line, moves around one check, then had a poke check to side, and Bob Rich retreats for it. Rich with Cotton forechecking. Cotton knocks it loose. Cotton nudges it into the far corner and goes after it. Cotton runs into his own man. Cotton runs into his own man, and a wraparound pass comes behind the net. Bob Rich there, up ahead for Caesar Thiesing on left wing. Thiesing out at center with brother Tim. And it's carried in, but Dusek takes over with 1:05 to go in the period. Tim Thiesing behind the net, trying to center it. Thiesing gets it back again in the far corner, but lost it to Dusek. Sean Dusek shoots it to the near boards. Rich charges in from left point to hold it in. Matt Dusek along the near boards. It hops one stick. Bob Rich with a shot that's kicked up into the plexiglass behind the net. Comes to the near boards again for Bikes. Bikes looking for a bust-out pass. Thiesing picks his pocket, moves along the near boards, jukes around one check, a backhand shot behind the net. Goes into the far corner. And after it there is Chad Olson along with Graham. Graham pokes it loose. Charging in on right point is Campbell trying to weave his way through the traffic. Campbell right in. Poke check aside. Campbell goes after it in the near corner with 27 seconds left in the period. Rich into the slot to Olson. And still in front. Thiesing whacks at it from point-blank range. And holding on is Hansen. The Abes with some intricate touch passing there, got it in good proximity, but Thiesing couldn't hammer it home.
They've really done an excellent job of being on the puck in the attack zone. As soon as that puck goes into the corners, Memorial, the old Abes are right on it, and they've really kept the pressure on almost this entire first period, except for when they were on the power play.
The goal came very early in the first minute by Tom Bernhardt, and it remains 1-0 with 21 seconds left till intermission. The puck shot to the near boards with 17 seconds left. The Wildcats still bottled up, but now clear to center. Campbell for Bernhardt in his own zone with 11 seconds left. Bernhardt on the far side to Campbell, back to Bernhardt with just 6 seconds left. Bernhardt uses a screen, moves over the blue line. Bernhardt ducks around a check with 2 seconds with one. A centering attempt. The shot comes at the horn and was stopped by Hansen. And so we are at the end of one on Hockey Day at Honda Arena in River Falls. Our score, Eau Claire Memorial 1, River Falls nothing. And we'll be back with Between Periods activity right after this. Period, and the Abes, who are a skating team, were able to wheel and deal, but only put one puck in the net, and that came very, very early. And Dan, I think it's almost a positive from the Wildcats standpoint that it's only 1-0 because they had their opportunities too, but I think the territorial edge was clearly to Memorial.
Oh, most definitely, and I guess you're right, Mike. River Falls has to feel fortunate that they came out of there with just one goal scored. As a matter of fact, that last shot right at the buzzer went in, but they ruled it came after the horn. So the Wildcats got to feel real fortunate because Memorial just dominated play in that first period.
You know, we've been talking throughout the year about Tom Bernhardt, and there's no player on the Abes that's a one-man team. They've got a lot of talent, but they need to work together, as Mark Fraley has preached all through this. But still, Tom Bernhardt is capable of taking charge of a hockey game at times, and that's exactly what he did on that goal and what he's attempted to do a couple of times since then.
Tremendous individual effort on that goal, Mike. He just hounded the puck. He wouldn't give it up. Had a couple shots before the one that went in, and he went and got his own rebound, skated around, and finally able to flip the backhand in the net for the goal.
You know, you mentioned that backhander, and we talked about at the time there was a near miss a little later, and that is such an underrated skill, and it's a little area that, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago in high school hockey in the area, you'd see one once in a while, sort of a half-hearted attempt at a backhand. Now these kids are learning to pull the trigger and do it with authority, something I know Tom Kuklinski has preached for years, and Mark Fraley too, and the players are picking it up at an earlier age and making that backhand shot a real weapon.
Well, as did anything, Mike, practice makes perfect, and once you learn the fundamentals of it, you just got to go out and try to keep shooting it and you know, hone it down to perfection. And on that goal, it looked like Bernhard had it down pretty well. Let's take a look at the scoring. Not much to report. Tom Bernhard for the Old A's at 40.
Mike Sullivan and Dan Gainey with you from W.H. Hunt Arena in River Falls. I'd like to ask somebody about the other building they're building out here. Is that another ice sheet?
No, it's going to be an indoor tennis and field house.
Oh, okay. Tennis, well, I suppose we got to take care of those folks too, but this is a very nice hockey facility.
Well, you know, a lot of your hockey players play tennis in the off season to keep up that conditioning, so it could be a welcome sight. Hey, you know, Mike, you mentioned non-conference game here today, and both coaches really didn't take too much of a liking to that, and both teams just played like, hey, this is, forget about non-conference, that's a broadcaster's term. They're out playing for keeps. Let's hope we have a good second period.
You bet. The Old A's in purple and white, skating left to right. River Falls in white with the blue and gold trim, skating right to left. The puck into the Wildcats and Sean Dusek up along the far board. Zacco behind the net to Walters. Walters kicks at it, flicks it to the near side. Walters tries to duck a check, but Potton knocks it loose, and it's tipped out to center. No, held in by Tim Harvey, put into the slot. Taken there by Jacob along the far boards. Walter jousting for it, falls on top of it. It's not quite held in by Bernhard. Got a shot from the blue line, but apparently it had come just across the blue line right in front of the memorial bench. Player benches are on the far side here, and Mark Fraley, despite that injury over at Stevens Point, still standing, although he always makes sure he's behind somebody, you notice. Took a puck in the mouth and required 60 stitches in the tournament over at Stevens Point. The puck along the near boards. Randy Campbell flicks at it. It gets into the Old Abe zone. Jeff Cockey up with it. Cockey puts it out to the blue line. Tim Thiesing has it there. Veers to his left and dumps it in. It banks off the boards, and we get a delayed whistle. Offside, apparently. Craig Manson had come across the blue line prematurely. No, an icing call. Okay, it would come from the center ice side of the red line. Players, I think, even though it's halfway through the season, still occasionally forget about that red line being in play this year. It's the first year in high school hockey. Tim Thiesing facing off to the left of Rogers, wins the draw. Back for Cockey. Cockey banks it off the boards to center, and picking it up there is Tim Thiesing with Rick Lefts. Thiesing moving in, shoots, and it's wide to the left. Goes off the far boards. Gerathinas after it there. Puts it up along the boards, held in by Cockey. It bounces to Thiesing, who scores! Over the whistle preceded it. They wave it off. A bouncing puck. Tim Thiesing, who blistered one in. I think he still thinks he scored. No, he knows, but the whistle had just preceded it, and it will be no goal.
When you say just preceded it, exactly that. It was like a split second. The whistle blew, then a shot and a goal, but it won't count.
It was apparently a hand pass, and the face-off shot into the River Falls end. Hansen, the sophomore, lets it go. Christensen up the near side for Jacob. Broken up by Rich, puts it loose into the slot, and it goes to the far corner. Chad Olson after it there. Drops it behind the net for Caesar Thiesing. Thiesing to the near side, and Graham had his stick lifted nicely, and it's poked out to center. After it there, Chris By. By shoots it in. Jacob hustles after it. Into the far corner of the Abe's end to our left. Bob Rich stapled to the boards by Jacob. By goes in to help out. The co-captain digging it loose. Thiesing goes back to help out. Jacob has it. Puts it out in front. Knocked out of there by Rogers. Still bouncing loose. Out to Christensen on left point. Poke checked aside. And here goes Caesar Thiesing. Thiesing has Olsen with him. Thiesing fires! And a save by Hansen on a high rising slap shot by Thiesing. Thiesing goes after it again behind the net. Pokes it loose. Out to Graham. He's tripped from behind. Bernhard with a shot, and it deflects up over the top of the goal. Behind the net is Graham trying to center it. Olsen goes behind the net. 3 Old Abe's in deep, and it's frozen along the boards. We'll get a face-off in the River Falls end. Oh, the Abe's doing everything but lighting the light, and they've even done that once this period, but it doesn't count. Still 1-0 Memorial.
Well, they've taken up right where they left off after the first period, just peppering River Falls, but unable to put another puck in the net for that second goal and a 2-goal lead.
I don't know if we gave the shots on goal, but they were a little hard to believe. It wound up being 9-5 in shots on goal in favor of River Falls. Here are the A's on the attack again. Walters for Zacco in the far corner. Zacco shoots it back behind the net. Nobody there but Sean Dusek, and he's wearing a white sweater. Into the far corner again, Zacco. Zacco nudges it, gets it, centering pass behind the net for Walters. Looks out in front for Harvey, puts it into the crease. It bounces out to the point. Cockney partially fans on it. Zacco turns and fires. The rebound by Harvey slid just wide. Walters goes to the near corner with Dusek. Dusek unable to extricate himself, but gets it up along the near boards. Held in by Campbell, a backhander, and a save by Hansen on that. In the far corner, Zacco. Zacco behind the net for Harvey. Nudges it back to Zacco. The shot! And Hansen got a stick on that. Harvey behind the net is tied up. Kicks it loose. Walters is tied up. I think both teams ready for a whistle, and they'll get one. We'll take a break. 1-0 Memorial. Back after this. Hello. Were you late? Oh, okay. Just a 30. What one are you missing?
Not mine. Not mine. Don't worry about it.
Play in the neutral zone. Prochnow carrying it in for River Falls. First time it's been in the A's end in a long time. Bernhard trying to skate it out. Bernhard moves off the boards. A left wing feed is broken up by Garathanis. Shot back into his own end, and back for it goes Sean Furley. The sophomore banks it off the boards for Hilmanowski. Hilmanowski retreats behind his own net. Ames again trying to keep him bottled up. Rick Left's forechecking up along the boards, and Thiesing comes up with it. Thiesing walks it in, loses control of it, nudges it back to right point. Rich, the left-hander, with a shot. Hansen the save on that. To the near corner, Tim Thiesing kicks at it. Prochnow kicks at it, and Prochnow comes away with it. He's checked from behind, and Madsen's going to go. Forechecking from behind, and River Falls will go on the power play. Hilmanowski throwing his weight around a little bit too, but it'll be the penalty called on Craig Madsen for checking from behind. Yeah, that's exactly as we called it, and that's what Madsen did. It comes at 3:38 of the second period. River Falls will go on the power play.
This is an important 2 minutes here for River Falls. They've got the bat for that party. They haven't been able to dominate play yet this afternoon. They could maybe get some good chances. It would really bring their confidence level up. And certainly if they could get the tying goal, I think they'd really appreciate it.
Sigurdsson and Hansen out there to try to kill it off for Mark Fraley's crew. Sean Dusek, who is a good offensive defenseman, slides it up the near side for Karin Bai. She moves up the near boards over the blue line. Bai looks for a drop feed to brother Chris. Chris goes hard into the corner for it along with Karin, and they bump and bang each other, and we're going to tie up in a face-off in the Memorial end. On the power play, Scott Dickmeyer puts the Buys out there, along with Hans Jacob. Off the face-off, it comes to Chris Bai in the near corner. Back to the left point to Dusek. Back for Bai. Chris Bai off the boards to Karin at the side of the net. A shot. Rogers the save. The rebound is loose in front. Rogers whacks it out of there. It's still loose. Comes out towards the point. Poked into the far corner by Seacrest. He goes after it there. Behind the net for Chris Bai. Out for Karin. Karin draws it back to Dusek. Back for Karin in the near boards. Karin Bai to Chris Bai, back for Karin, and it's out to the point, held in on left point. Sean Dusek shoots it behind the net. Chris Bai slides it to Karin. Karin back to the left point to Sean Dusek. Dusek, a pass for Bai is intercepted, and Dusek with a great save at the blue line to hold it in. Kotke goes into the far corner, has his bust-out pass broken up, pass into the slot, is intercepted by Campbell, and gotten out to center. With 52 seconds left in the River Falls power play. Chris Bai has it in the neutral zone. Bai winds it up and goes to his right, takes a shot. Rogers watched it go wide. It comes to the near boards, and it's shot off the boards to center again, and down to the River Falls end where Eric Seacrest will retrieve it. 35 seconds left in the man advantage for River Falls. 1-0 Memorial with 9:52 to go in the second period. Dusek takes a check from Chris Thiesing, but got it into the attack zone. River Falls changing on the fly, and the Ames bust out with it. Chad Olson takes a check at the blue line from Hilmanowski, and up with the puck is Hemingway. To the far boards for Seacrest in the River Falls zone. A lead feed to Hemingway. He's got it. Scott Hemingway over the blue line with Hilmanowski. Hemingway slides right in, a shot, and it went just wide. Rogers got a pad on it, loose behind the net. Hilmanowski goes into the far corner, out to the right point to Prochnow. Prochnow on his backhand, trying to center, is tied up in the corner by Kottke, and Kottke picks his pocket. The Ames back at full strength. They've killed off the penalty, and Craig Manson with a rink-wide pass for Thiesing. Thiesing catches it off the boards, but he has no help. Ames changing on the fly. Thiesing with a backhand pass for Olson, goes after it in the near corner, lags it to the far side for Graham. Graham takes a check, but the puck comes loose. Back to the left point, Tim Thiesing partially fans on it. It still lies loose in the face-off dot, and Garathanis comes away with it. Poke checked away from him. It comes to the near face-off circle and skated out of there finally by Prochnow of River Falls. A pass hits a mass of skates. Poke checked aside, flipped up in the air, still loose in the neutral zone, and now here come the Ames with it. They stay onside. Graham gets it to Tim Thiesing, a backhander to save. The rebound still loose and covered finally by Hansen as it dribbles tantalizingly out of the reach of Craig Madsen.
Brian Hansen with a big save for River Falls. Once again, he's kept them in the game here with some timely work in the net.
Again, it was a backhander by Tim Thiesing that almost went between the legs of Hansen. That's how Bernhardt scored his goal. Thiesing, I think, was shaken up slightly on the play. Maybe just frustrated. And lost his stick to pick out a new weapon. Face-off will come to the right of sophomore Brian Hansen. Karen by Mitch Garathanis and Brent Bustad out there now for River Falls. 8:30 to go in the second period. Still 1-0 Memorial. A backhand shot off the face-off flipped high in the air and was gloved by Hansen. And we'll do the draw all over again.
KL By's line has really seen a lot of ice time. They played almost that entire power play shift.
Off the draw, Zacco with a backhander. That skitters wide. We've got an interference call in front of the net on Christensen, I believe. Christensen and Harvey, and now a misconduct called on Steve Christensen. So Christensen will get a minor and a misconduct. Roughing and a misconduct on Steve Christensen at 6:37 of the second period. And the Old A's will go on the power play. 2 minutes for roughing. And a 10-minute misconduct. So the Old A's go on the power play. And Jason Walters' line is out there. Walters, Harvey, and Zacco. Scott Dickmeyer taking his time, putting his troops back out on the ice. He'll send out the Dusek cousins, senior Sean and freshman Matt, along with Garathanis and KL By. Off the draw, Jason Walters shoots it to the near boards. Harvey has it there. Walters heads behind the net, takes the feed from Harvey. Walters looks for Zacco in front, drops it back for Harvey on the near side. Harvey puts it behind the net and goes after it. Walters comes up with it, tries to shoot it over the top of two players. Harvey jousting for it, and Cotton, or rather Dusek, comes away with it. Zacco out-muscles him in the corner, gets tied up, and we'll get another face-off. Damon Zacco way out of position, but doing what he does best, mixing it up in the corners and trying to make something happen.
With no regard for his body, he just went into the corners and really mixed things up. And they get the face-off in the River Falls zone.
Well, Dad Denny used to go into the corners pretty hard for the Minnesota Gophers. With Gary Gambucci and Chuck Norby. Into the slot, back to right point to Campbell, to left side to Bernhardt, back to Campbell, nudges it ahead for Harvey. Harvey cranks and fires and scores! Tim Harvey with a blistering slap shot from the right face-off circle. Campbell and Bernhardt will each get assists for Tim Harvey, his fourth goal of the year. It's a power play goal, and Memorial takes a 2-0 lead. Tim Harvey, again, a low shot along the ice that got between the legs of Brian Hansen, but from only about 20 feet out, and Harvey got all of it. There should be 2 assists at 7:05 of the period. Oh, Campbell's got to get an assist too. In fact, it was Campbell that got it to Harvey. And now they can substitute for Christensen but he stays in the box. Give Campbell an assist, Dano, and we'll check on it later. He's got to get one along with Bernhardt. And it came at 7:05 of this second period. And now Scott Dickmeyer having a chat with the official.
I wonder what that's all about. Something going on over at the River Falls bench. But the goal by Harvey, again, Mike, right through Brian Hanson's legs. A low shot, and that's the second one that's been scored on Hanson in that fashion.
Well, it's nice to see another coach involved in a rhubarb. Mark Fraley's had a couple of them this year. They're not as exciting as baseball rhubarbs because you can't get out on the ice and get chin to chin with the umpire. If you can, but you're taking your life in your hands.
Can't you see it? The coach slipping and sliding on the ice, trying to argue with the official.
I'm not sure what Scott Dickmeyer was arguing about. They do get to substitute for Christensen, but he knew he had a misconduct. They've got 5 skaters out there. Off the draw, Campbell fans on it. Jacob carries on. He's got Hemingway with him, tried to center it to him, and Campbell broke that up. Jacob goes into the far corner in the end to our left. Centering pass is broken up by Rob Graham and skated out of there by Kottke. Out to center, Seacrest has his pass picked up by Kottke ahead to Thiesing. He's got Olsen with him. Caesar moves in. Thiesing scores! What a shot! Caesar Thiesing makes it 3-0. Less than a minute after the last goal. The old A's taking advantage, perhaps, of the Wildcats being down just a bit. Strike in a hurry and make it 3-0 for Thiesing, only his 4th goal of the year. He was hurt, of course, for a while, but that was a big one. Kottke, I believe, will get an assist. We'll double check. It comes at 7:26 of the period, just 21 seconds after the last goal. And we've got a timeout called by River Falls, I believe, and they're going to change goaltenders. Schmidt will come on. While we have this timeout, we'll take a break. Memorial 3-0. Back after this.
Assisted by number 2, Jeff
An interesting theory, Dan. I'm not sure if Hanson was pulled for giving up a couple of goals. That's probably the case, but it comes at exactly the midway point of the hockey game, or within 4 seconds of it at any rate, and sometimes a coach will make a change for other reasons than that.
Well, it remains to be seen exactly what the reason was, but I thought on that last goal by Thiesing that, perhaps he didn't get the best defensive effort there because Thiesing kind of walked right in, and sure there was defensive guys around him, but they sure didn't do much to stop him.
Incidentally, they have officially added an assist on that previous goal. Let's give you the last 2.
Okay, it was Tim Harvey from Randy Campbell and Todd Bernhardt at 7:05, and Caesar Thiesing at 7:26 from Jeff Kottke. And Mike, people have said this about you, that not only do you call the play-by-play, you coach and sometimes you referee, and you did the scorekeeping on that too. If you call that added assist,
If they're earned, they should get it. The puck tipped up over the plexiglass off the faceoff as we resume play. The netminder now for the Wildcats is senior Paul Schmidt. In relief of Brian Hanson. Abe's leading 3-0 at the halfway point of the hockey game. Play in the end to our right. Sean Dusek for the Wildcats, trying to skate out of his own end. Dusek moving around Ricklefs, takes a check from Tim Thiesing, but drops it behind him, and it's carried on by Matt Dusek. Dusek into the attack zone. Drop feed for Potton is picked off. Rather, that was Bikes who was carrying it. Potton lost it. Here's Matt Dusek. He's tied up. Bikes lags a high shot right up in the eyes of Mark Rogers. He saw it all the way and makes the easy stop. 7:05 to go in period number 2. 3-0 Memorial. We'll update you on other scores between periods.
Not that Mark Rogers has been tested all that much this afternoon, but he has looked real solid on the saves he has had to make. Shows real good form, real good poise out there.
Well, and it's a tough kind of game to stay in when you're a goaltender, when all the action is in the other end. So frequently you see a quick flurry and a goal at the other end. Hasn't happened yet. Off the face-off, Seacrest a shot. Rogers tucks that behind the net. Picked up there by K.L. By. Tries to center it. Knocked away by Campbell. Up along the near boards for Chad Olson. Back for Campbell. Behind the goal to our left. By forechecking. Knocks it loose. Coming up with it is Brent Bierstead in the near corner. Brent Bierstedt looking for Gerathanis. Gerathanis goes hard into the boards with one of the Old Abes. The puck still in the corner. Finally knocked out of there, out towards left point. Nobody there, but Gerathanis holds it in, takes a shot. Stick saved by Rogers, angles it to the far corner. By and Campbell lean against each other, and it comes to the near corner. After it is Bierstedt again, behind the net for Gerathanis. Broken up by Kottke. Jeff Kottke carries into the far corner, got tangled up with the official, goes back the other way. Kottke exits stage right for Olsen, quick sticks it out to center. Here goes Thiesing with Graham setting a screen. Thiesing trying to sprint around the defense, and we're going to penalty call a diving check. Thiesing moves out in front, puts it right through the crease, and Olsen falls on top of it, and we get a whistle. And we'll get a penalty call, I believe, on the Wildcats. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, it'll be on the Wildcats. I thought first they weren't going to call it. But they will. Eric Seacrest, the junior, will go. Tripping is the call. It comes at 8:56 of the second period. Christensen still in the sin bin for that misconduct. But the Wildcats, of course, only one man short. So the Abes with one power play already will get another chance here. And on the year, Memorial now with 16 power play goals. Off the face-off, it's controlled by Sean Furley. Drops it back behind the net for Sean Dusek. Dusek hammers it around the boards. Campbell holds it in, but puts it right on the stick of Hemingway, who makes sure this time and blisters one the length of the ice. Rogers leaves it behind the cage for Bernhardt. Bernhardt checked in the corner. Chris By took it away from him. Up along the near boards. By still skating with it. Gets it to Dusek. Dusek walks it in. Checked from behind. Still moves in a backhand and scores! Short-handed goal by Sean Dusek on a spectacular effort. Chris By may get an assist. I don't think so, though. It was really all Sean Dusek. And it's 3-1. Let's get the scoring. Sean Dusek unassisted at 9:23 of the period. That is the first shorthanded goal that Memorial has given up this year. And Dano, it was a beauty.
Sean Dusek really just, Mike, his individual effort just walked right in, and really Rogers didn't get much help, but just Dusek all the credit in the world for making a great play.
He pulled Rogers out and then went around him and had all the yawning net to shoot at on a backhander and put it in. Puck cleared down into the Abes end again. Still a minute 20 to go in the power play for Memorial. Jeff Kottke, checked by Potton, starts out the near side. Lead feed by Olsen is quick stick to center, but taken there by Jeff Prochnow. The junior finds an opening, shoots it out to center. It went off Potton to the far boards. Shot up ahead, but taken by Kottke at his own blue line on the far side. Lead feed to Olsen in the neutral zone. Thiesing takes it over the blue line. Thiesing tries to move around Prochnow, goes behind the net, exits stage left, looks in front for Tim Thiesing, and he hit Olsen with his shot. It would have been wide anyway, and now it's cleared down into the Abes end with 49 seconds left in the man advantage. Rogers shoots it to the far corner. After it there is Jacob, puts it out in front. Rich gets it off the far boards, intended for Tim Thiesing, ticked off by Gerathanis, and shot back behind the net. After it there, Rich, up the far side for Caesar Thiesing. Thiesing will turn on the Jets at center ice. Thiesing has Olsen ahead of him, trying to stay onside. He does. Thiesing trying to go around the defensive backhander. It's in! Caesar Thiesing pulls the trigger on a backhander after a coast-to-coast rush. Gets his second goal of the day. The Old Abe's second power play goal for Thiesing, his fifth of the year, and it's 4-1 Memorial. It comes at 10:31. And I believe this one will be unassisted as well. There may be a gift assist, but it was really Thiesing.
Again, that backhand shot, like we talked about earlier in the game, a high school player can master it. It will give you a whole other weapon, a whole other dimension.
Play in the River Falls end to our right. A steal behind the net by Ricklefs. A shot. It's saved. Who got the assist?
Brent Pressure is going to get the assist.
No. Brent Pressure is the third-string goaltender.
That's the name they gave over the previous.
You're right. They'll double-check that one. Probably Jeff Kottke, number 2. Off the face-off in the River Falls end. Madsen trying to steal. Dusek shrugs him off and totes out to center. Sean Dusek into the attack zone, trying to go around Bernhardt. There's a battle of premier defensemen, and Dusek won it and got a pass out in front. KL By puts it right through the slot. It's loose and comes out to center ice. Dusek, I think, is a little tired, and he's going to the bench. He's been out there a lot. Matt Dusek, the freshman, takes a check. A shot off the boards, goes wide, and comes to the near corner. 4-1 Memorial. 3:45 to go in the second period. The Wildcats again bottled up in their own end. Zacco sends it behind the net. Isaacson after it there, but it comes to the near corner. After it, Bierstedt for River Falls. Both coaches using players that haven't seen a whole lot of action here. As Bierstedt's pass is picked off, here goes Tim Harvey with Prochnow shadowing him. Harvey dumps it into the attack zone and goes after it. Coming out of net, a steal by Zacco, and Zacco gets it to Walters out in front. Harvey, a golf shot that's blocked in front and sent to the far boards. Zacco after it, back to left point to Kottke. His shot hits traffic. Harvey, a shot. Oh, hit the plate. The rebound, trying to come around and stuff it in, but Walters was knocked off it. It comes to Campbell on right point. Campbell can't control it. Kicked in by a diving Kottke. Now slid out to center for Bierstedt too far, and Kottke after it for the A's. Jeff Kottke will wind it up. Long right wing feed to Harvey. He's got it. Harvey moves around a check. As a poke check the side, gets it back. It goes to the far boards. Harvey after it, along with Seacrest, kept in by Kottke. He walks it in. The drive, and it goes just wide to the right. Comes to right point. Campbell charges in to try and hold it in, but the Wildcats come up with it and shoot it out to center. They were floating Chris by on a cherry picker play, but it didn't work. Damon Zacco dumps it in. Hemingway with it at his own blue line. Ahead for Jacob. He weaves with Chris by, but Campbell picks off the pass. Campbell puts it out to center. Chris By up with it. Over the blue line. By a feed to Jacob. By gets it back again. By a centering attempt. Jacob is taken down. And the puck loose behind the net. Rogers sprawls out to cover it. And we're going to whistle. We'll take a break. 4-1 Memorial. Back after this. Just a 30. Yeah. Okay, what was the Menominee Hayward score? Thank you. Okay. Well, we returned to the action, and we had some action. No scoring, but the A's with another chance. Brian Hansen came way out of net to cover the puck and was bumped into by Chad Olson. Here's a score you'll want to hear. Eau Claire North leading Superior at Superior. 1-0 near the end of the first period, and Menominee and Hayward are tied at 2 near the end of the second period. Two of the top-ranked teams in the state having trouble this afternoon. Right here, Memorial leading 4-1. Play in the A's end. Bob Rich headmans for Bernhardt, but he comes back for it. Bernhardt circles in his own end. Now turns on the Jets. Bernhardt over the blue line, moves around the defense. Bernhardt right in, tries to stuff it, and it's stopped by Schmidt. Loose behind the net. Bernhardt with it again, kicks it loose for Thiesing. Thiesing along the far boards. Thiesing trying to set up top of the far face-off circle. Backends it back in the corner. Bernhardt lets it go. Chad Olson after it. Olson fans on it, and it's cleared out along the boards. Held in. Graham with a shot. That's blocked. Graham goes after it. Rich stood up along the boards. Caesar Thiesing with it on right point. A drive. That hits traffic. Rich goes after it, but it's poked out to center. Thiesing back to cover it for the A's. And we're going to face off at center ice. Not sure what that call was. Thiesing used his glove, but he just played it to himself, and he didn't close his hand on the puck. But I think that's what the call was. Oh, wait a minute. We've got a penalty call. I think we got a penalty. What was this for?
A minor penalty on Eau Claire Memorial.
We'll find out.
15 for advising 2 minutes for delay of game.
What?
Advising for delay of game.
You're kidding. Chris Thiesing called for delay of game. Well, he may have closed his hand on the puck, but it sure didn't look like it from our vantage point. 13:41 is the time of the penalty. And so River Falls gets a power play out of it. A steal by Tim Thiesing. He almost had a solo flight, but Seacrest got back. Tim Thiesing strips him of the puck. Tim Thiesing moves into the slot. Tim Thiesing with a foul face-off circle, fires, and it's kicked out of there by Schmidt. It bounces all the way out to center ice. Campbell has it. Rink-wide pass for Tim Thiesing. TT dumps it in. And back for it is Seacrest for River Falls. Tried to hit KL by. It comes to the near boards. Jacob, a lead feed to Sean Dusek, who has the Wildcats goal. Shot from center ice. Rogers steers it away from one of the Wildcats, and Mark Ricklefs hammers it out to center ice. Almost a steal by Tim Thiesing, but it's taken by Prochnow of River Falls. Knocked loose by Ricklefs. He goes after it, dives for it, but Seacrest gets it out to center. Campbell shot it back in and caught Ricklefs offside. And we'll get the face-off just outside the River Falls blue line with 32 seconds left in the period. A minute 13 to go in Thiesing's penalty time. That one we're going to have to get an explanation on. They must have ruled that he closed his hand on the puck.
Well, unless we were maybe blinded by the boards here for a second, but it sure didn't look like it for part of the play that we were able to see.
At any rate, River Falls with the puck at center ice on the power play with just 25 seconds left in the period. Drathanis at center, circles back at his own blue line, trying to traverse the neutral zone, has it knocked away, gets it back along the near boards. Jamo Hansen with a steal, but he's offside. He put himself offside, delayed whistle with 11 seconds left in the period. Drathanis at center, over the blue line, looks for a drop pass, and Prochnow has it. Prochnow to the near side, moving in, the shot by Hemingway, he scores! With 2 seconds left in the period. Scott Hemingway walked right into about 15 feet out and beat Rogers between the legs to make it 4-2. It's a power play goal after that delay of game call. River Falls capitalizes. They have a shorthanded goal and a power play goal.
Assisted by 3, Jeff Prochnow, and 21, Howard Potts.
Jeff Prochnow and Howard Potton will both get assists. Prochnow and Potton. It comes, of course, at 14:58 of the period and makes it 4-2 Memorial. They drop the puck, and the second period is history. And Memorial with the lead, but that goal in the waning seconds should give Scott the River Falls Wildcats 4-2 after 2, and a solid second period for the Old Abe's. They dominated play, but yet by the same token also gave up a couple of goals that they shouldn't have. If there's 2 times you don't want to give up a goal, it's when you're on the power play and in the final seconds of a period. And those 2 cardinal sins occurred, and I know Mark Fraley is dwelling on that right now.
Well, that definitely what happened. A short-handed goal and then giving up a goal with just 2 seconds left to go in the period hurt them. But they're still on top 4-2. And let's recap the scoring for you in that second period. Of course, it was 1-0 A's after one time. Bernhardt scored on the goal in the first period. And then on the power play, Jim Harvey scored in 7:05 in the period. Todd Bernhardt. And then Caesar Fusion scored at 7:26, just 21 seconds later. Caesar Fusion scored for Jeff Hockey to make it 3-0. And at that point, Scott Pickmeyer, the River Falls coach, had seen enough to drive Hansen and replaced him in goal with Paul Schmidt. Then we moved on here in the second period. Sean Dusick finally got the River Falls Wildcats on the board with a shorthanded goal at 9:23, an unassisted goal for Dusick. And then Caesar Fusion came back with the second goal in the period. The Old Age at 10:31. I'm not sure on the assist. I'm going to check and get that later. And then also with the power play goal, using the second goal. And then with just 2 seconds to go here in the second period, on the power play, Scott Hemingway scored 14:58 on the Howard Potton on the power play goal by Hemingway to make it 4-2 in the Old Age. Let's run down the penalties in the second period for
4-2 after 2. Coming up tonight, of course, the Blue Golds and Stevens Point, 7:45 pregame here on WJJK. And coming up next week, we've got more hockey action for you as the North High Huskies travel to Menominee on Thursday night. Again, the Huskies leading Superior early at Westman Arena near the end of the first period. North leading 1-0. Superior coming off a win over top-ranked Hayward, and what a feather that would be in the Huskies' cap if they could upset the Spartans this afternoon. The Old Abe's leading here, the Huskies leading. Menominee and Hayward are tied at 2-2 near the end of the second period. Again last night, the Blue Golds walloped Lacrosse 11-0. They will play UW River Falls next Tuesday night at the Hobbs Ice Center in Eau Claire. And let's quick recap the scoring once again in that second period.
Okay, Michael, again, 1-0 after one, but then the Old A's really pulled it on. Jim Harvey on the power play at 7:05 with the second from Randy Campbell and Todd Bernhardt. And then Caesar Fusion scored at 7:26 just moments later from Jeff Hockey. And then the goalie team from River Falls because of Sean Dusick. The River Falls scored at 9:23 unassisted. A shorthand goal for the Wildcats. And Caesar Fusion again on the power play scored his second goal of the game at 10:31. And then River Falls capped off the second period scoring. Scott Hemingway with just 2 seconds left at 14:58 of the period, if you will. Scored with assists going to Jeff Prochnow and Howard Potton. Now we have the saves for the second period. Hansen for River Falls, 10 saves before he was pulled. And then I believe it's Paul Schmidt had 3 saves after he came in. and Mark Rogers for the Old Age with just 5 saves in that second period. So the Old Age really did dominate in the second.
So the shots on goal now 22 for Memorial and 16 for River Falls. So the swing starting to go towards the Old Abe's, and the same thing is occurring on the scoreboard as Memorial leads it for statistics, and it's called +5. And no, it's not a plus-minus number from hockey. It's the temperature has gone back above 0.
You know, and I think those balmy temperatures this afternoon might have to do with how many Eau Claire fans we have here. We really have a good contingent from Eau Claire following the Old Abe's this afternoon. Nice to see them get out on a wonderful wintry afternoon for a nice little drive and a half.
We were talking to a couple of them between periods, and there were a couple of calls in that second period that were, let's say, tough to understand. The hand pass that occurred just before Tim Thiesing's apparent goal that was disallowed, and then the delay of game call against Chris Thiesing came in for some criticism.
Mainly the delay of game call, I guess, because there was such a non-factor in what was going on in the ice at the time. The main concern, I guess, with most of the fans in the second period.
Here we go with period number 3. The Old Abe's in the purple this afternoon with white trim, skating right to left here in the third period. River Falls in the home white with blue breezers and yolks and numerals. A little gold trim thrown in. Both teams at full strength as we start the final period. Jason Walters against Howard Potton. And we're making sure everything's set. Now they're giving Scott Dickmeyer time to get to the bench. Boy, that's nice of the officials. He's set now, third-year head coach for the Wildcats. Mark Fraley watching on from the far side as well, and the draw controlled by Matt Dusek. The freshman cranks it in, it banks off the boards and comes to the far side. After it there, Tim Harvey dumps it back behind the net, taken by Potton. Potton looks for Bikes, but he's tied up in front, and it comes all the way out to center ice where Eric Seacrest retrieves it. Seacrest, a lead feed to Bikes. Bikes pokes it in. Here comes Potton in alone. Howard Potton walks right in, fires, and he shot it just wide, aiming for the upper right-hand corner. Potton goes to the far boards. Walters knocked down. Sean Dusek, I think, skating up at a forward now. He is. Puts it back to Seacrest. Sean Dusek moved up to a forward. Tom Bernhardt gets it out to Zacco. In the middle to Walters. On the far side to Tim Harvey, and the game's bust out. Lead feed too far for Zacco, but they wave off icing, saying it was tipped by Zacco. Zacco behind the net, goes into the far corner of the River Falls end. Zacco puts it back into the corner. After it, Walters. Walters has it, slides it for Harvey. Behind the net, Matt Dusek, the freshman, up with it. Matt Dusek starts out the near side. Dusek carries out to center ice and dumps it into the Abe's end. Jeff Cottney hustles back for it. We're a minute into the final period with Memorial leading 4-2. A right wing feed is almost picked off. It comes out to center, and Hilmanowski after it there for the Wildcats. Lags it to the freshman Sean Furley on the near side in the neutral zone. Furley for Garathanas, centering pass to KL Bai. She's checked off the puck. Garathanas goes into the near corner for it. Takes a bump from Cockney. The puck frozen along the boards for a moment. Bai digging with Cockney, and they tie each other up, and we're going to whistle. And a face-off. In the Abe's end to our right. Memorial trying to get their 5th win of the year. River Falls 7-4 coming into this one.
I would think goalie Mark Rogers of the Old Abe's will be tested very early here in the third period. River Falls needs a couple of goals to get back into this game.
Campbell slides it along the boards all the way down the ice. He was trying to hit Ricklefs with a pass. Good idea, but Ricklefs couldn't catch up with it, and it went 200 feet down the ice, and an icing call will bring it back down into the Memorial end again with 13:27 to play. A lot of time left, and we mentioned that second goal that got the Wildcats back in it. If they should get another one here anytime in the next 5 minutes or so, watch out.
That would be a huge momentum shift for the Wildcats if they could score here early.
Abe's trying again. Campbell off the boards. Madsen lets it go. Here comes Thiesing. Tim Thiesing up the far boards. He's got Ricklefs breaking for the net, but it's broken up along the far boards by Dusek. And on the far side, we've got a... Nope, I thought it was a penalty. The referee was just trying to get out of the way. It comes to the near boards. Chris Bai after it there. Bai trying to skate it out to center. Campbell trying to hold it in. It did come out just across the blue line, and we'll get an offside call. Well, with Corey not injured, if you weren't with us at the outset, one of the leading scorers for the Wildcats down with a broken ankle. A lot more load has fallen on co-captain Chris Bai, and he's been a factor this afternoon, though he hasn't gotten on the score sheet. He and Hemingway mesh fairly well together, though Hemingway is just a sophomore. Caesar Thiesing and his line out there. It's shot into the Wildcat zone. Seacrest goes back for it. Seacrest shoots it to the near side for Matt Dusek. Dusek trying to bust out. Olsen forechecking off the boards intended for Chris Bai. Picked off by Bernhardt to Chad Olsen. Olsen in the neutral zone. trying to find some open ice. A left wing feed for Thiesing, who's checked by By, tries to whip around him. He's taken down, and Matt Dusek up with the puck. Dusek hammers it into the attack zone and takes a hit from Chad Olson. Along the far boards, Rob Graham. Graham back in his own end, had some trouble with it, but got it up along the boards for Bernhardt. Bernhardt up the near side. Bikes got a piece of it, loose in the slot. Bikes a shot, he scores! Dan Bikes with a screen. Roger never saw it. There were 3 players between him and Bikes puts it in to make it 4-3. And the Wildcats are very much in this hockey game. It comes at 2:33 of the period. There may be 1 assist, but Dan Bikes, the senior, gets the goal. Let's see if there was an assist. Unassisted goal for Dan Bikes.
That is certainly a big goal. That time Rogers was screened by Todd Bernhardt. Didn't really have a chance, didn't see the puck at all. But the real story is the Riverfall Wildcats is just beating Memorial to the puck.
Bikes still out there, goes after it in the near corner of the Abe zone. A centering attempt broken up. Bikes gets it back again right behind the net, tries to stuff it in off the defenseman. It goes behind the net. Jeff Kotke for Memorial. Kotke checked off the play. Cotton shoots one just wide, just as he was being taken down. Into the far corner, a centering attempt. Who had been moved up to a forward spot for just that reason. He dug it out of the corner and found Cotton just to the left of goal. And we're tied at 4. This one comes at 2:59. Howard Cotton from Sean Dusek. And the Wildcats have scored 3 goals in about 3 minutes to tie this hockey game. 4-4 hockey game. Tom Bernhardt trying to scoot out of his own end. Hauled down from behind. Gets into the attack zone, but it comes right back out. Here's Hilmanowski for River Falls skating in. Rich dumps it to center. Taken by Tim Thiesing, but he put it too far, and Seacrest has it. Back out to center. Madsen sweeps it in. We'll get an offside whistle. The puck will come outside the River Falls blue line, and after Memorial had been virtually dominating play throughout much of the second period, the Wildcats have come storming back to tie it.
Scored 3 goals in just a matter of minutes, and that last one by Howard Cotton from Sean Dusek ties this game at 4.
The puck in the Wildcats' end at his own blue line is Furley. Ahead for Chris By. By over the blue line, moves into the near corner with it. He's got Jacob out in front. By goes into the far corner. Bernhardt takes him off the puck. Bernhardt skates it out to center. Here goes Ricklefs. Crisscrosses with Thiesing. Behind the play, we've got some shoving. Here goes a shot on goal, and it's saved by Schmidt, and we've got a player shaken up behind the play. Prochnow and Bernhardt got tangled up a little bit, and Prochnow is shaken up. He's getting up and will skate to the bench under his own power. The face-off will come in the River Falls end with 11:17 remaining. This is WJJK Eau Claire, your spot for sports. Mike Sullivan, Dan Ganey with you from Hunt Arena in River Falls.
Prochnow on the bench now for the Wildcats. He can play a hit there. Looks to be okay.
Off the face-off, Thiesing taken down, and the Wildcats up with the puck. Pass picked off by Graham. Graham looking in front for Thiesing. Graham hauled down. We'll get a penalty. Thiesing has the puck. Behind the net for Olsen. Olsen out in front, and Graham couldn't quite get the lumber on it. Into the far corner, Matt Dusek catches up with it, and we'll get the penalty called, and the Old A's will try to capitalize on the power play here. Hooking, I believe, will be the call. Yep, hooking is the call on freshman Matt Dusek. It comes at 3:59. 3:59 of the period. And the face-off will come where the Old Abe's want it. Mark Fraley will put a mixed-up line. Jason Walters will center Tim Harvey and Rob Graham. Well, he's experimenting with a number of different combinations the last couple of weeks. We'll see if this one clicks. Bernhardt and Campbell, who are both excellent shots from the point, are on the blue line. Bernhardt already with a goal tonight, and Campbell, I think, with an assist. We'll see another Campbell tonight. Craig Campbell and the Eau Claire Blue Gold basketball team. Now Sean Dusek being sent to the bench. There may be some problem with his equipment. Whatever it was, he removed it from his personage and will return to the action. Walters will face off against Howard Potton, who got that tying goal just moments ago. Off the draw, goes to the far corner. Sean Dusek jousting in the corner with Harvey. Dusek gets it loose. Potton hustles after it, but Campbell charges in from right point. In the far corner, Harvey again with Dusek. Dusek moving his way into the corner, trying to tie it up, and it's frozen along the boards. We'll get a face-off again.
Wildcats showing right there what they've really done well here in about the last 7 or 8 minutes of this hockey game, and that is being on the puck in the corners right away and getting there first and controlling the play.
Harvey moves behind the net off the face-off. Harvey looks out towards the point as he comes out to the near side, gets it to Bernhardt, back to Harvey, back to Bernhardt, back to Harvey. Harvey goes into the corner with it, gets a return feed. Tim Harvey trying to control the puck and set something up. Harvey out to the right point to Campbell, moves around the check, walks it in, fires, he scores! Randy Campbell winds up lying on his back with both legs and both arms high in the air along with his stick. We mentioned the Ames defenseman, especially on the power plays, and Campbell will get a goal here. Tim Harvey will get an assist, possibly Bernhardt. That would be a gift, but definitely Tim Harvey who got the puck back to Campbell. Let's bring up the score. It comes up 4-3 now. Well, they do give both Harvey and Bernhardt assists. The second power play goal of the game for the Ames, who now lead 5-4 with 10:14 remaining. Memorial back in the lead. The puck shot into the River Falls end. It goes behind the net. Tim Thiesing trying to dig it loose along with Madsen, but they are out-muscled. Ricklefs with a steal. His pass picked off, and here comes Garathanis getting it out to center, intended for Hilmanowski. Picked off by Campbell. Shoots it through the neutral zone. Tim Thiesing got a piece of it. Madsen a lead feed. That's picked off by Prochnow. Hit his own man, and Furley has to retreat for it. Furley in his own end, flips it up off the boards for Garathanis. He's bumped at center ice, but dumps it in. Campbell back for it for the Old A's. Campbell banks it off the boards out to left point. A shot is tipped wide. Rogers watches it trickle by the net. Hilmanowski can't get to it. Jeff Kotke skates it out. Kotke stopped at the side of the net, but got it ahead for Ricklefs. Ricklefs up the near side. Looks for Thiesing, shoots it on goal, and peels off for the bench. Thiesing going back for it, just backhands it deeper in the zone, and then he too will clear out. Caesar Thiesing's line out. Thiesing looking for his hat trick along the near boards. Thiesing gets a screen, moves behind the net with Prochnow, comes out the near side. Thiesing moves into the slot, but he's headed off, dumps it back to the side of the goal. Prochnow back for it with Graham. Prochnow hammers it off the boards. Thiesing picks that off. Thiesing has some trouble with it, lifts it back to right point. Tom Bernhardt tees it up the drive high, gloved by Schmidt, and he'll hang on and then bumps into one of the A's in his crease. And we're going to face off in the River Falls end with 8:59 to go in the hockey game. 5-4 Memorial.
Randy Campbell getting the go-ahead goal at 4:39 for the Old A's from Tim Harvey. I didn't catch the other assist on that.
Tom Bernhardt.
Tom Bernhardt. Bernhardt was getting second assist. He also had the goal.
Play behind the net. It comes up along the near boards for Chris By, but Damon Zacco beats him to it, gets it to Walters behind the net. Walters looking for Harvey. Harvey taken down at the side of the net. Tried to get to the puck anyway. Here's Walters darting behind the net again for Zacco in the near corner. Zacco moves along the goal line on a backhander. The save, the rebound, saved again. And Henson another stop, and the whistle had blown before the second shot even, as the referee lost sight of the puck. And the whistle sounded. A couple of golden chances there for Tim Harvey and Damon Zacco, and they couldn't capitalize.
Tim Harvey started jumping up and down on his skates. Couldn't believe that he couldn't get the puck to go in the net there. He had a couple of excellent chances, but just couldn't get it over the sprawled out goaltender.
Harvey will try for the face-off here. He and Potton jousting before it's dropped. It trickles towards the goal. Prochnow darts in to take it away. Up the far side for Dusek. Banks it off the boards down to the Abe's end. Tom Bernhardt hustling after it, and they'll wave off icing. Bernhardt back behind the goal line, sweeps it behind the net to the near corner. Zacco going back to help out. Zacco kicks at it. It's still loose. Potton up with it for River Falls. Potton a centering attempt. That's broken up by Walters, who heads up ice neatly and misses Harvey with the pass. Prochnow retreats for River Falls. 8:04 to go in the hockey game. 5-4 Eau Claire Memorial. Sean Furley flips it up the center. Here goes Dusek catching up with it on a breakaway. Dusek in a backhander. Oh, Rogers with the stop. The rebound comes out to Potton. Back for Dusek in the corner. Dusek a centering attempt. That's broken up. And taken into the corner is Dusek. Zacco lost it behind the net. The Wildcats' Dan Bikes with it into the far corner with Potton. Cotton shoots it up along the dasher boards to the near corner. Tom Bernhardt has it there. The Wildcats now are the aggressors, forechecking and bottling up Memorial with 7:35 to go. It is 5-4 Memorial. The face-off will come in the Abe's end.
Both teams changing now at the face-off. Give these players some rest here and get some fresh troops out here to go the rest of the way.
Conditioning gets to be a factor at this point. Off the draw, it's controlled by nobody. It went through the crease, but to the far corner. After it there, Seacrest had a poke checked away. KLY banks it off the boards. Jeff Cockney has it for Memorial. Cockney has some open ice, banks it off the boards too far for Ricklefs. Matt Dusek shoots it up ahead. Thiesing got a piece of it, knocked right back into the Abe's end. Campbell behind his own blue line. Campbell, a rink-wide feed to Madsen. He quick sticks it in and goes after it with Seacrest in the far corner. Seacrest slides it to Matt Dusek. The freshman spun around and knocked into the boards by Ricklefs. Centering attempt, that's broken up. Tim Thiesing along the near boards, going after it with Matt Dusek. Ricklefs can't get his stick loose, and Madsen goes in to help out. Madsen, a centering attempt, knocked aside by Schmidt. Ricklefs, a backhand centering shot. Thiesing scores! Tim Thiesing off a beautiful wraparound feed to Mike Ricklefs makes it 6-4. Memorial. Tim Thiesing with the goal, his 5th of the year. Mark Ricklefs with an assist. It comes at 8:07 of the period, and the Old A's have regained a 2-goal lead.
Come on, Chris, let's get at it. Let's go. Fire up. Do something.
Also gets an assist. 6-4 Old A's. Chris Thiesing taking it to the board, shoots it to the side of the net. They try to stuff it in. Chad Olson can't control. Loose. Thiesing centers out in front, and the goaltender down, but the Wildcats bust out to center. Tom Bernhardt takes over, has it knocked away by Jacob. He's got By with him. Jacob moving in with By, a shot, and Rogers stopped it. It's in. Yes, it's in. It's 6-5. Rogers thought he had it stopped, but he went into the net, and he was not propelled by a Wildcat. And Chris By will get the goal with an assist from Hans Jacob. And it is a 6-5 hockey game. This one comes at 8:31. Oh, it's been a beauty, and it's not over yet. Chris By with the goal, the senior, assisted by Hans Jacob. Just scant seconds after the Old A's had scored, the Wildcats get right back in it. Let's see if there was a second assist. Score it the other way. Hans Jacob from Chris By the other way around. But at any rate, it's 6-5 Memorial with 6:22 remaining, and we get an offside whistle. The face-off will come just outside the River Falls blue line. Hans Jacob gets the goal. Chris By the assist. I thought it was By that propelled it underneath Rogers. Mark was on top of it, but slid just across the goal line. It comes to center. Randy Campbell with it. Backhands it off the boards. It's backhanded in. Tim Harvey has it. Harvey trying to move around a check. Goes down, and it goes to the far boards. Matt Dusek after it with Jason Walters. And now Sean Dusek slides it out to center. Campbell retreats for it with Cotton forechecking. Campbell gets it to Cockney at his own blue line. Lead feed is quick sticked in by Walters. Left by Schmidt in the far corner. Damon Zacco on his off wing. Zacco sends it behind the net for Walters. It's poke checked aside by a hustling Eric Seacrest. Cockney dumps a shot on goal or just wide. Schmidt gloved it and covers it anyway with 5:49 remaining. And Memorial leading it 6-5. The Wildcats have never led this hockey. They keep coming back. A little kid caught under the bleachers. I guess he's okay. Face-off. Controlled. Madsen a shot, and Schmidt a save. He was screened out, but makes the stop. Comes to the near corner. Held in by Madsen, but now skated out by Mitch Garofinis. Taken away by Ricklefs. Ricklefs, who assisted on that last goal. Headman's intended for Thiesing. It's broken up. But Ricklefs gets it back again and hammers it in and flies after it. Mark Ricklefs into the corner with Furley. Ricklefs muscles Furley into the boards. It comes loose to Tim Thiesing. Trying to center. He's taken into the boards. And it is frozen along the boards. Ricklefs and Karin By with 5:17 to play. The A's, Dan, definitely not going into a defensive shell here.
Definitely not. They've shown a lot of offensive fire punch here, even in the third period, where you would think maybe they would go into that shell, but so far they have not. That's to their credit. On the other hand, the Wildcats of River Forest really going after that puck.
Campbell from right point with a shot that didn't have much steam on it. Caesar Thiesing behind the net. Thiesing comes to the near side. Thiesing draws it out towards the point. Picked off alertly by Chris By. Out to center. Cockney trying to bump By, and that's not easy to do. There goes Jacob moving in with By. Slides it to the side of goal. It comes behind the net. Campbell takes Jacob into the board. Out in front. A shot hit the side of the net. Rogers sprawls out on top of it and waits for the whistle. 4-5-4 to play. And Mark Fraley's got to be thinking, what kind of year is this anyway? The Ames have played, this is their 12th game, and of those 12, I haven't got it right in front of me, but I think 9 or 10 of them have been one-goal games. An unbelievable season. Face off to the right of Mark Rogers. The draw controlled by nobody. Finally, the A's clear it up, but now Jacob holds it in on the left face-off guy, out to left point, kept in by Sechrist. It hops over By's stick. Jacob goes after it. Jacob, a settling pass. By has it. Comes to the near side, tries to stuff it in. He hit the side of the net, and Rogers covers up on that. 4:38 to play, but now the Wildcats starting to mount some sustained pressure again.
Give Mark Rogers credit on that step shot. The puck hit the side of the net. There was a lane there, and Rogers there to look and jump on the front side to force the face off to his left.
Howard Potton has Bikes perched behind him in the slot. Caesar Thiesing will try to win the draw and does. Randy Campbell lifts it out to the blue line, held in, but taken by Cockney, banks it off the boards to Rob Graham. Graham along the near boards, checked by Potton, gets it in. Thiesing after it, he's tripped, but gets up again. Centering attempt comes right through the crease, goes to the far boards, and the Wildcats skate it out. Potton has Sean Dusek with him. Dusek over the blue line with Campbell. A centering attempt goes behind the net. Potton after it there. Centering pass broken up by Tom Bernhardt. And Bernhardt starts up ice with it with 4:09 to play, or Graham rather. Graham over the blue line. Checked hard and taken down in the near corner by Furley. Into the boards goes Caesar Thiesing, and the Wildcats come away with it. Howard Potton skates it out. Graham is shaken up. At center ice, Dusek checked off the puck. Gets up on his knees and shoots it in, but Bernhardt has it. Bernhardt slides it out of there and carries on. Dusek is tired. Bernhardt moves into the attack zone. Bernhardt looking for a point. Gets it out to the blue line. Charging in is Rich to hold it in. Rich a centering attempt, but it's right on the stick of one of the Wildcats and carried out by Dan Bikes. 6-5 Memorial. Bernhardt sends Bikes flying. Didn't even seem to take too much effort. And here comes Furley shooting it out to center. It's taken nicely by Bob Rich at his own blue line. Lead feed to Jason Walters, and it's poke checked aside by Sechrist at the blue line. Picked up by Garofinis. Garofinis has it taken away by Walters. A centering pass is tipped by Hilmanowski and taken by Rich. Slides it ahead. That's picked up by Matt Dusek. The freshman over the blue line. A drive, and it goes wide to the right. After it is Garofinis on the rebound, and he loses one just wide. Along the far boards is Tim Harvey. Behind the net, Garofinis tips it up along the plexiglass. Fights for it with Tim Harvey. Harvey looking to get a whistle, and I think both teams want one. With 2:59 to play, it's Memorial 6, River Falls 5.
You're right, Mike. Both teams wanted that face-off, and both teams are getting very tired. Rob Graham also, as you mentioned, is shaken up, just about a minute or so ago. He's still over on the bench.
Be a tough blow. He has played well, was the leading scorer early in the season for the A's. Playing the A's in, Jason Walters up the far side. Campbell out to the left point, held in. Back in the corner, but Randy Campbell there. Campbell lifts it out to centering down the ice, and here comes Tim Thiesing. A Schmidt comes out, scores over the top of the puck. Scores! Mark Rickleff scores! The net came way out of the net and slid right over the top of Thiesing's shot, but got just enough of it to keep it from going in. It slid out to his right, to the left of goal, and Mark Rickleff's put it in. Mark Rickleff's with the goal. Thiesing should get an assist. They call it unassisted.
I don't understand that.
12:19 is the time of the goal, and Memorial now leads it 7-5, but don't go thinking it's over yet. Tim Thiesing off the faceoff, takes a check from Eric Sechrist, flips it up to the near boards, and after it is Kotke, slides it ahead. Dusek takes a check from Tim Thiesing. After it is Bikes, out to center. Kotke and Rickleff's both there. The two little mini-mites clear it back into the attack zone, and Rickleff's sprints to the bench with 2:22 to play, and Memorial up by 2. A bust out pass broken up but taken back by Seacrest. Weaves his way to center, lofts a shot that goes wide of the A's goal. In the end to our right, Randy Campbell goes into the corner. Centering attempt, hits a skate, still loose in the far corner. Caesar Thiesing trying to carry it out, but along that slow ice along the boards, he can't dig it loose. Now they do. The A's come out with it. Randy Campbell at center. Campbell working the weave, dumps it in. Sigurdsson and Olsen both go after it. Backhanded by Bierstedt up along the near boards. Held in, no, not quite. Jeff Cockey has to retreat to center. Shoots it rink wide just to buy some time. And up with it is Matt Dusak. He is checked hard by Caesar Thiesing. And Chad Olsen comes up with it. And we're going to get a penalty call. A penalty call on Caesar Thiesing. Apparently for charging. Oh, no, holding. If there's one thing he didn't do, it's holding. That's what they call it. It comes at 13:17 of the period. So the River Falls Wildcats are on the power play. They trail by 2, but it's not over yet. Mark Rogers trying to hang on. It has not been the best afternoon for him, but he has to hold him for another minute 39. Wildcats with the puck off the draw. Furley shoots it in. Jacob sends it into the corner. Chris By after it there. By with Tim Harvey. Harvey wins the race and flips it out in front of the goal to the far side. Here is Jacob. Can't tee it up. A backhand. It goes just wide. And Rogers pounces on it at the side of the net. And we're going to face off in the Memorial end with 1:25 remaining. Scott Dickmeyer has already used his timeout to change goaltenders. Or do you get another one? I think you might get another one if you change goaltenders to get to warm him up. That might not have been his official timeout. At any rate, he's still got the netminder Schmidt in the goal. Off the face-off, the A's clear the zone with a minute 20 remaining. One thing this does help is it gives the A's a chance to just clear the puck anytime they get the opportunity without icing being called. A steal for the A's by Jason Walters. Banks it off the far boards in the River Falls zone. Out to center to Chris By. Goes to his off wing along the far boards, but puts it too far. Bob Rich loses it in the corner. Chris By goes after it with Rich. By taken to the boards by Rich. And with 57 seconds left in the hockey game, we're going to face off in the old Abe's end. And now the River Falls net is empty. The Wildcats down by 2 goals will have a 2-man advantage. 6 skaters to 4. And we also get a timeout call. Timeout River Falls with 56 seconds remaining. 7-5 Memorial leads, and we'll be back at Hubble Arena right after this. Hello. Okay. This afternoon at the Dunn County Recreation Park, it is the Hayward Hurricanes now leading Menominee 5-3 early in the third period. And up at Superior, they are in the second period, and Eau Claire North still leading Superior 1-0. Right here, we have 56 seconds remaining, and the A's with a 7-5 lead. River Falls has never led in this hockey game, but it remains to be seen whether they've got one more comeback in them.
Well, if that third period is any indication, they probably do, because they really played a heck of a third period and climbing back into this hockey game. And now with the 2-man advantage, Howard more of a chance to maybe knock in a goal, and then who knows what could happen.
Karen by to Hans Jacob, blisters strike in. Just like that, it's 7-6. Karen by won the faceoff, back to Hans Jacob, and he just let her rip and beat Rogers on his stick side over the shoulder, up high, and now 53 seconds left, and Schmidt will go back into the net, and now the A's back at full strength. But a power play goal for River Falls, and it'll be Hans Jacob, his second goal. Karen by an assist. And with 50 seconds left, the time of that goal was 14:07. Now we have 49 seconds left. Hemingway's pass broken up by Randy Campbell. Into the attack zone, Mark Whitlock's for Memorial. Blisters went off the boards and down the ice, and it's heading towards the open net, but it's just wide, so it'll be icing. The Wildcats had gotten Schmidt off of there again right after they got control of the puck, and would that have been a bank shot worthy of Willie Mosconi? Would have been a 200-foot bank shot into the empty net. Didn't quite work. And as a result, the faceoff comes back down in the Memorial end with 33 seconds left. The A's clinging to a 7-6 lead, and now I think Mark Fraley will call his timeout. Timeout Memorial with 33 seconds remaining. We'll take another break and return to Hunt Arena right after this. Hello. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. 33 seconds remaining, and I hesitate to even say it, but I will, in regulation.
The way things are done in the old days is season, you might as well say it.
The Cardiac Eagles from Eau Claire Memorial. Unbelievable season. 12 games now. They blew out New Richmond, and they beat Chippewa Falls decisively. And that has been about it in terms of one-sided games. 9-1 and 6-2 in those two games. Just about every other game, win or lose, has been close. They beat Wausau West the other night, 6-2 also. That's right. So 3 games that have not been decided by 1 goal. That's for sure. Here we go. Off the face-off. Garapanis trying to hit Jacob again. He lit the light just moments ago. And the draw controlled by the Wildcats. Back to the point. Sean Dusek, a drive, and it goes behind the cage. Out of the crease, and controlled by Tim Harvey. 24 seconds left. Harvey skates it out to center and dumps it down into the River Falls end with just 18 seconds left. Remember, an empty net, but the Wildcats up with the puck. Harvey gets a piece of it. It's loose along the near boards. Jason Walters has it with 11 seconds left. Harvey checked at center ice. He's into the steal, but he put it up into the Wildcats bench with 7 seconds left. We'll get a face-off at center ice. The Wildcats net remains empty with Memorial leading 7-6. Scott Dickmeyer still having some words with the official. He's getting pretty close to a misconduct, I think. It's been a while since we've seen one of those called. Well, we need another puck. They're not going to give him the puck back. It's my puck and I'm going home. Here we go. 7 seconds left. Caesar Thiesing, who has been an ace on face-offs this year, up around 85%. It's controlled, though, by the Wildcats. Sean Dusek moves to his left with 4 seconds left. 2 seconds, 1. The Old Ibs hang on for a hard-fought 7-6 win. And now Thiesing shoved by Garapanis after the whistle. And Thiesing taken out of there, and we've got some shoving along the near boards. Jacob and Tim Thiesing. And Tim Thiesing, I think, may get a penalty. And perhaps, certainly they got to give Garapanis one too. And they're extricating the players and saying, line up, guys, or go to opposite ends of the rink. But the Old Ibs hold on for a 7-6 win. And now they're waving the Old Ibs off the ice, saying, don't even shake hands with this bunch. Tom Bernheim, though, is going to move through the players and shake hands, and so will Chad Olson. And now a good show of sportsmanship by the Old Ibs. The ones who remain on the ice are going to shake hands with the Wildcats anyway, despite what the referees had to say. Shots on goal 8 for River Falls. 30-24, the final shots on goal, I believe I heard. And the final numbers that count read Memorial 7, River Falls 6, and we'll be back with a wrap-up from Hunt Arena right after this.